Indoor cycling, Zwift, racing, parenting. We cover those and all of our hopes and dreams in between. Welcome to the Talk Dirty to Me podcast, an entertaining look into the lives of everyday people trying to achieve virtual cycling glory from our basements and garages from around the world. This podcast is rooted in Zwift and has evolved into found friendships, fitness, health, and a little sprinkle of humor. This may be one of the only podcasts where a little heavy breathing shouldn't scare you away because we're riding our bikes while we're recording it.
Welcome back to the podcast. Got Drew, myself, and Sully today. And it's another early day, pre-Christmas. Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
Merry Christmas.
For those who don't participate in Christmas. But today, figure it's close to the end of the year. People always talk about New Year's resolutions, kind of aligns with goals, how we make them, how we keep them, that sort of stuff. So, yeah, it's going to sound like your, work colleagues or whatever, talking about goals.
Goals are important.
Goals are important. At work, we have SMART goals. You guys recognize that term?
Yep.
Yeah.
Covered every year in my classes.
See, I'm like a good teacher. I'm a horrible student, by the way. SMART goals. So, again, being a horrible student, I don't remember what the letters stand for. I remember
Specific.
M is measurable.
Measurable.
Remember that?
Attainable.
Attainable. There you go.
Realistic. And timely. So like time constrained. We're on a time limit on it.
Gotcha.
So measurable, basically.
Yeah.
So it's redundant.
Some of them are a little redundant. Yeah.
They're like, it needs to say SMART. We got to figure out what we can say. They're putting a square peg in a round hole.
Measurable is just you want to put like a quantifiable goal on it. Attainable, you have to be able to actually be able to do it for yourself. So like, I wouldn't set the goal of wanting to become an A+ rider in 2022.
That's not attainable for you? Come on, Drew.
The realistic part is,
I think you're an A+.
thanks, guys.
That's off the bike, though.
A+ podcast.
For what it matters.
A+ podcaster on the bike. On the bike.
Very niche market, We have the market cornered on that one. Realistic, obviously, again, just, is it something that your goal is going to be set in reality, And then timely. Set a time on it by 2022, by June, by December.
Tomorrow. A+ tomorrow.
A+ by tomorrow.
That's right. That's realistic.
What is that? Let's see where I'm at.
So I think, if like...
Well, only realistic if you've been secretly sandbagged.
That's right. That is right. I
think there were a few of those people in BZRL.
Yes.
A+ by tomorrow.
A+ by tomorrow.
B today, A+ tomorrow.
Holding back. Yeah, I've always been a very goal-driven person, despite, not really liking to sit down and write them down.
Right.
Which, surprisingly, this year, that's one of my goals. It's to write down my goals.
Write them down.
Yeah.
It helps.
But, like for me, a lot of my goals have been focused around like health and weight loss for a long time.
Yeah.
And I think probably a lot of people do focus on that. But, it's like, it's probably because it's just the first thing on my mind when it comes to things that are easily measurable.
Right.
And attainable. But, I think.
Well, I just think it's a priority, right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just specifically, I can't say that word at 4 a.m. I think it's important to give us give our children something to look at for what is an example.
Sure.
And like my parents didn't hit the gym. My stepdad had some weights in the corner. They were dusty.
Right.
But I think just for longevity, I think it's important to exercise and move.
Yeah, so, absolutely. No, I agree.
That's probably,
we've touched on it before.
Yeah.
With having that model for the kids, but definitely within like being able to set goals and then reach them.
Yeah.
A big model for your kids.
And I think when you have specifically around health, and we'll say weight loss, but weight loss isn't all of it. It's obviously other measurable things there. It gives everyone something tangible. I mean, you can see it, you feel it, But so it's my first goals. Have always been around that.
Write it down.
Yeah. And
good one.
I think I've personally have hit. We talked about in our ZRL thing. My goal of going from the lowest of C's to the top in a season. Yep. And I'm pretty proud of that one. I put in the work, but from D to C, from D to B.
D to B.
You said lowest of C's, but it was.
You're right. I was a D, technically, when I started. Now, whether I was a sandbagging D.
Many of our listeners will agree
that I was a D. or sandbagging.
Well, let them decide.
It's open to interpretation. So, Sully, what goals have you had this year that you feel like you're proud of or you've achieved?
I don't know if this is surprising or not, but like 2 years ago when this time of year hit and we did all the goal setting stuff, and I don't remember where they were, but I had a bunch of goals and I think I hit some of them. And when that time of year came last year, I think I even created the channel and I didn't post anything. Like I made the space for everybody else to do it. And I really didn't have I was a bit directionless this year. It was kind of just enjoy it.
Yeah.
At least from a health and fitness perspective.
I think that's important as well. I mean, and for those listening who maybe don't know Sully, he's the one in the conversation where we're, chatting about so-and-so is cheating, blah, blah, blah. He's the one who brings it back down to, guys, we're just having fun. Like, who cares? Which everybody needs that person because you can't take life too seriously, right?
Are you having fun? Are you getting a good workout? Do you feel better?
I'm not.
Yes.
I'm not it's just a game person. There's nothing we can do about it. So we can.
Yep.
Well, it's
like bring in a whole bunch of negativity and let this frustrate us, or we can focus on what we can control and
absolutely
what we actually enjoy.
Which is, I think, huge. I say that to people all the time. It's like, it's out of your control. Why worry about it?
Yep.
But I mean, I get the benefit of interpreting Sully's messages on Discord. And I'm like, how would he say that? Yeah. All right. That's a little sarcasm. Okay. Which is fun for me.
So last year, I really didn't, I think the year before I kind of made getting to B and doing some different things a goal. And I don't know, cycling's interesting because I don't have an outdoor goal. Yep. Not right when I started, but that first year I kind of had like an outside ride I was targeting. This year or last year, I didn't really have something like that. I just enjoy it. I enjoy the community. I enjoy the people and just riding. So
I agree.
Yeah. And there's a lot to be said for that, I think, because a lot of us get wrapped up in numbers, and I mean, it's easy to do in the sport because you got a power meter, you got, I want to be this FTP by this time or whatever.
What's your watts per kilo?
Right. But
and I think it's an interesting conversation point too, because of the way, Zwift is structured. I definitely felt like a little bit of a disincentive to improve this year from like where racing is fun, where you can be competitive, you can win and go, all right, now if I get stronger,
back to the bottom,
like this is going to get, like this might get miserable. This might not be any fun.
This may be somewhat off topic goals, but carries with what you just said. I can vouch. It's not horrible being in the B category. I've been there for 2 weeks now. Week.
Yeah.
Racing in it for 2 weeks.
Racing in it for 2 weeks. It hurts, but
yeah. That kind of goes with what Greg had said to us at the very beginning of our B journey. It's just, if it happens naturally, you'll be fine.
For sure.
Don't force it. Don't push it. Just kind of let it happen. So I think you did it the right way.
I might have forced it a little bit. I was trying to keep up with Truesdale. That was my own fault.
It's no easy task.
So, Sully, do you have goals for this year that you can share? Have a fourth kid?
I would say not having a fourth kid is probably a goal.
Just kidding.
We're going to potty train next week.
Oh boy!
So we're just about out of diapers.
I'm so jealous.
So I don't think there's no desire in this house for anybody to start over.
There never is.
But at work, I work with like a whole bunch of people that have like surprise babies.
Yeah.
They're like, they have like kids in high school and like an infant.
Right. Yeah.
I don't understand how people don't realize how that surprise happened.
How that
Shock.
How is it a surprise? It's one of those things.
I don't know, Doc. Apparently some procedures are more effective than others. I'm not sure.
That is true.
I didn't ask those kinds of questions.
True. There are still that percentage that fail. But it's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah.
So no kids.
Yeah. So
2022, no kids.
Well, I mean, and you kind of talked about the goal being to have goals. I think the goal is probably to like really kind of spend some time figuring out like what's important and kind of I think the goal this year is that to have some goals, and I don't even know if they're going to be cycling or Zwift related, but to I was half joking in the chat when I said if I don't set any goals, like I can't miss them, but like personality wise, like whether for my job or just anything, people are always kind of like, well, where are you trying to be in 5 years or this or that? And I'm like, I don't, like, that's just not my personality.
Right.
Like, I'm not, but people are like, well, where do you see Dirk going? I'm like, man, I'm just along for the ride.
Let the ethers take it.
Like we're just,
but
we're just having fun and doing our thing and just trying to be like faithful with what we have and where we are. And so there's a level of contentment, which I think is good and healthy, but there's like a level of fear too. I think even in goal setting, there's a level of like, hey, like I don't want to fail. I don't want to, or even like, is the goal I'm going to set something I really care about, something I really want?
Right.
So yeah, like that's just for me, that's personality and kind of goal setting.
So when you were talking, I had two things pop in my brain. First one was that where do you see yourself in 5 years? Strongly dislike that question.
Yeah.
I don't like to use the word hate just because I don't like it, but I strongly dislike that question.
was a very
because I
very
mean,
targeted question.
I mean, who knows? You know, life is so unpredictable. Yep. Yeah, you can have a pipe dream if you want, but
right.
I feel like, you know, I mean, but
an idea
for most people, it's like, well, that's what a goal is, right?
Yeah,
like,
super long term.
Why are we goal setting in order to get somewhere? But maybe that's the difference. You were talking about process goals versus
outcome goals.
Outcome goals. So
the other thing that popped in my head was you said fear, the fear of failure.
Yeah.
And
paralyzing.
But, you know, like, I think once you have failed and you realize it's okay.
It's not so bad.
I didn't do anything horrible to myself.
Yep.
I gave it what I had. I didn't have it, but I'll just regroup, try again. I think once you learn that, failure becomes such an asset because it gives you the drive to do better. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yep.
Like we all fail every day.
That's right.
Usually mundane things, but
right. Things that you wouldn't even notice.
But if you
didn't put a label on it, you didn't notice it.
Exactly. But if you can frame it around, I failed. Why did I fail? Can I change it to not fail again in the same way?
Yeah. Learn from it. Yep.
When I think people compensate for that fear in different ways.
That's true.
Like some people try and outwork it, and some people run from it. And I'm definitely in my default mode is like the run from it camp.
Yeah.
You're a flight, not a fight.
In this case, anyway.
I think that's probably most people, though. You know, it's the easy way out kind of is the phrase that comes to mind, you know. Like, well, I could either try this and risk failure, or I could do what I'm used to and know that I'm going to succeed and know that I'll be fine at the end, you know. Something Sully said also reminded me, I think, with the SMART goals, there's a new concept for the R rather than realistic. And I started to kind of use it with some of my classes, but kind of tie it in is some people use the R as relevant. Your goal should be relevant to you. You know, a goal that's important to me may not be important to you guys. Clearly, a cycling goal isn't going to be relevant to a 90-year-old woman sitting in a nursing home. So,
unless she's got a Peloton,
you know, it has to be right. So it's, you know, the goals have to be relevant to you, and they have to be based in your own reality. So,
yeah, it's a great point.
Do you guys see like a lot of those same like traits in your kids that you see in yourselves?
The older she gets, yeah.
I think my kids are in a phase right now. Like my oldest is my daughter, and Drew. I don't know, maybe our daughters are close to the same age.
Yep.
And I think it's a phase they go through where you tell them to do something, they're like, I can't.
Yeah.
I'm too small. It's like, no, you're not.
No, you're not. You're perfect.
Yeah. You can do it. Daddy doesn't want to. You do it.
Yeah.
You clean up your room.
The stage right now of why? I have to explain it to you.
Knock on wood.
Get ready for the shower. Why? Because you're dirty.
But I think my kids are too little. Sully, your kids are a little older. The older boys.
Yeah.
So they probably have more developed personalities.
Yeah.
Yeah, my oldest is a lot like me.
He's like you. Yeah. It's weird how some of those things, you know, it's like, oh.
He woke up, so I'm not going to say too much.
Oh.
He's here.
He's watching.
He's over on the couch.
Is he watching the podcast with no sound? No. Let's say we have a fan.
But yeah, just Sully was saying, you know, about process versus outcome. It was actually an email from the Trainer Road app that they sent. I'm reading the article yesterday. That especially as fitness goals go, people tend to have an outcome in their mind, you know, whether it's to reach B, whether it's to race a certain race, whatever it is, you have the end goal in mind, but you don't really have the way that you're going to get there. And that's, a big part of the goal setting is, okay, well, on my way to B, I want to be able to hit this watt per kilo. I want to be able to do all my workouts. Whatever the goal is along the way, it's just as important as the outcome. So,
yeah, I think it also gives you milestones in between.
Yep.
That keep you focused on goal.
Sure.
I think, it's like when you frame up, I don't know why I keep coming back to weight loss, but I apologize. That's horrible.
An easy, measurable goal.
It is. It's like when you focus on, okay, I'm going to have a 300 calorie deficit every day.
Right.
So that I lose
rather than
a pound a week or whatever, which I know that doesn't equal a pound a week, but we're going with it.
Whatever the numbers are.
Whatever you say, Doc.
It's 500 per day for a pound a week. Anyway, it's like you get focused on the daily, and then, like, man, this really is hard. Like, it's not really showing anything. I haven't lost any weight, blah, 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 blah. And then 2 weeks into it or 3 weeks into it, you're down 3 pounds. It's like,
yep.
Oh, okay. I'll keep with it.
Yeah.
But
yep. No, it's true. And like you said, the weight loss is a good one just because you can hit those weight check-ins, you can do whatever.
And I think, one of the things I stopped focusing on when it came to health, I'll say that health is better than weight loss, is, weight's a number on a scale. It's a measure, but it's not a whole picture. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Just like FTP,
really skinny and unhealthy.
Is a number.
Yep.
Gives you an area to focus on, but it's not you in a nutshell.
Right. Exactly.
And I'd much rather be 200 pounds and able to do what I can do than 160 and not be able to function.
Right. 100%.
Now, do I like to eat pizza? Yeah, I sure do. Jesse Keaton would be proud. I had Little Caesars yesterday with my kids.
Oh, boy. Crowd pleaser.
Yeah. That's a whole other podcast, but for those who know Jesse or those who don't, his belief is that Little Caesars pizza is the greatest pizza in all the world. To which most of us respond, you need to eat more pizza. Anyway, I digress.
But I think you bring up like a great question of like, where is the balance of being so goal driven that you don't enjoy life, and like enjoying life so much that you don't have any goals.
Yep. Well, good way to put it.
Unless your goal is to enjoy life. Then you hit both.
Then it's all about
eat, drink, and be married.
And it's all about the process.
Then you take the red pill and go down the rabbit hole.
But I think that was like the question for me this last year is, hey, do I want to spend a bunch of time on Trainer Road doing workouts that I don't really enjoy?
Yep.
Like, or am I just going to race and do what I enjoy? And without some kind of bigger goal or like something I'm trying to achieve, then like, why am I training for the thing that I can already do?
Yep.
So that was like the dilemma this year.
Huh. That's interesting. Why would I train for the thing I can already do? Huh. I might think on that one. Really, it's like
Been thinking on it.
It's boggling me at 4:30 in the morning. All right.
Well, I mean, I think we talked to Jerry and we talked to Jay, and like they basically raced to the top.
Yep.
Right.
Because like more or less probably because they're genetic freaks.
That's true.
I don't mean that in a bad way. They're just like Jerry's running background. I think they just
Jace
like they clearly just responded well to volume and training, and like
raced it out.
they just kept adding and pushing each other and going higher.
Yep.
That doesn't like most people hit a ceiling of that, where then like they need to do something structured, something to keep progressing. But I guess my question for myself has been like, why?
Yeah.
Right.
And I think everybody has to have a why.
Yep.
That's a big part of it. It's like, why are you doing it?
Right.
Yeah. I mean, why am I getting out of bed at 5 a.m. to do a workout?
Right. I think too, when your platform is Zwift, it's a little easier to lose sight of some of the goals.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm going to hop on. I'm just going to race today. Okay, I'm just going to race today. You end up doing the things that are
every
fun.
day of the week,
right?
Like multiple times. Like you can just race.
Just jump in a race and do what's fun. Do what feels good. It may not be what's achieving a goal, but it's fun. And it's working towards it. So
especially because when you think about, for most of us, you're like, oh, it's a race. I mean, it's going to push me, right? But no,
right.
I mean, it's
not in the way a workout will.
Yeah, the segments push you a little bit, but then most of it's like zone 2, high zone 2, or threshold.
Yeah, there are times where it pushes you, but especially in something with primes, then like you're going for the primes and you're trying to do no work, and then you're going to do 1100 watts for 15 seconds and then rest again.
Yep.
Which I guess is technically high intensity interval training, but
right, some kind of an interval.
What about you, Drew?
Intervals.
What goals you got this year?
So my goals from 2021, 2020 was all about, ironically enough, getting back into shape, losing weight, feeling better about it, and just being consistent with the workouts. 2021 was all about maintenance, maintaining that fitness, continuing the workouts. Obviously, doing Eat Dirt early on certainly helped out with the accountability, the motivation. But the 2022 goals now, I was like, you know what? We've maintained for a year. Let's set some real goals. So the first goal that I have is to ride a century ride. Just signed up for in June.
Nice.
So
That's a in real life century.
In real life, yeah.
You didn't say that.
Right.
We got to clarify.
Outside, off of Zwift, 100 miles.
7,000 feet of elevation. Yeah, he's starting out small.
Hell yeah.
The century I did was something like that. It was like 6,000.
It's hard to keep it flat.
It's hard to find 6,000 in Florida, but I found it.
There's one hill. He went over it twice.
What was the hill? Sugarloaf? Or what was it?
Yeah, Sugarloaf.
T-Bob did the other day.
Sugarloaf Mountain.
That's yeah. Yeah, we'll have to talk about T-Bob and Tiago at some point.
But so that's the first goal, and that one is, it's an interesting one because obviously it's an outcome goal, but to get there, you got to set the process goals. Been working on Trainer Road. They have a century plan, so I was like, all right, plug that one in, see what they got. So that one will be good to do as many of the workouts as possible, maintain TTT, stuff like that, and then ride 100 miles. So that's the 2022 goal. One of the 2021 goals, ironically, was the half marathon, and hit that one. So that felt good.
Derailed your cycling.
Derailed the cycling completely.
Sure did.
It was a tough one.
He held strong, though, despite us goading him to race instead of run.
Yeah, there was some mornings I'd wake up and be like, God, it's so nice to hop on a bike and do a race, but got to go run 8 miles. So it was a good goal. It was fun achieving it. And then afterwards, I was like, all right, check that one off. And I guess the natural progression, a lot of people ask, so when are you going to do the full marathon?
It's never enough, is it?
No. You do the full marathon. Oh, when are you going to do an ultra marathon?
Yeah. When's your Ironman?
Yeah.
When's your Boston?
There is, later in the year, there's a bunch of Olympic distance, sprint distance triathlons upstate that I've kind of had my eye on. Tank my cycling.
How's your swimming?
Terrible. That would be the first thing to try. Do the sprint distance and hopefully not drown. So, but tank the cycling a little more over the summer. Train for that.
You spent some time at the lake, quote unquote.
Yeah.
It's our inside joke with Drew. He goes to the lake and loses all his fitness.
All the fitness.
Sits there, drinks a beer.
Trainer Road outside rides.
That's it. Figure those out.
Or pull a J and just bring your trainer and set it up on the back porch.
Set it up right on the porch.
It's been done.
You've done it too? Or are you saying he's done it?
I've brought it to the beach, but Drew's brought it like to the campground or something.
Yep. Had it out in the
Right
I
driveway.
forgot about that.
Yep.
Sure
Get
did.
it out in the driveway.
It's like an iPad stand.
Yep.
Do you have a travel solar array to power it?
No, fortunately there was a light pole right there with an outlet, so I was plugged into that bad boy and juiced up.
I forgot about that. I
No,
remember
we,
that picture you posted on Discord. It's like your bike in front of your car or somebody's car.
Yep. We're sitting there just ready to roll. That was the day that I learned that fans are important.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was humid.
You imagine somebody walks by and is like, that guy realizes he could just ride his bike, right?
It's in the,
Not with
That's right.
friends.
it's in the middle of the Adirondacks.
His friends are all virtual.
Yeah.
Everybody's
We're all
online.
avatars. We're not real.
But then just in terms of numbers, similar to what you guys have said, is hit the B category at some point, hopefully early in the year. Work your way through that. And then I mentioned to you guys about hitting 1,000 watt, 15-second sprint, 950, 960 right now. So
I'll call that a short-term goal for me because you mentioned
short
it.
term.
And then literally 20 minutes later, I realized, I hit it this morning.
Oh,
Cool. Humble brag.
Yeah.
Check.
Hit that one.
Starting off 2022 early.
Right on the right foot. Finishing 2021 with the B, starting it off with the 1,000 watt sprint. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are like the number goals. So
And I guess
along the way.
for those who may listen who, I know it sounds crazy, but don't know what the categories are there people like that out there? Surely not in our audience, right?
Not
Not
on
on
our
our
podcast. But
Not our list.
B is 20%, I'm sorry, 95% of your 20-minute power greater than 3.2 watts per kilo.
Yeah. Yep.
So basically you're
And
at
it takes your three best efforts.
3.4 for your FTP.
Yep.
So
no.
Averages out your three best efforts. I think my three best efforts are 319, 317, 317 right now.
so you're close.
I'm close.
Your FTP would not be the 3.4. It would be the
Yes.
3.2 or under.
So,
Clarify.
yes.
Oh, 95%. You're right. It'd be higher,
Yep.
right? Does that sound right?
Yeah.
The power you're doing for 20 minutes is higher than 3.2, but the 95% they use to calculate
It's 3
FTP
point.
Right.
Yeah,
is
yeah.
under.
Sorry. That's what I meant to say, but brain.
I know. Listen, the Dodcast listeners, they know this already.
They know I'm here to say something and be corrected.
Yeah.
It's a familiar process.
Just clarifying.
That's all.
Attention to detail.
That's what I always have. Attention to detail. Yeah.
That's what we excel at.
You creative types.
Man, I try not to pigeonhole myself. So, yeah. I dabble in all.
No, I know you do. We'll have we got to have an episode at some point on Dot's secret secret skills.
Yeah.
But if we talk
Dog
about them,
Ninja
they're no longer
episode.
secret. Nah, then I won't be able to
Cast a
surprise
light.
anyone when they ask me, can you do this? Yeah, I can do that.
It's for
Oh, yeah.
the
For the
Dogcast.
podcast.
You already revealed your secret pizza skills.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm mediocre at best, I'd say. I mean, it feeds my children, so.
Is it,
I don't know about your kids. My kids are picky.
Yeah.
she's getting more picky.
Oh, absolutely.
So if your kids will eat it, then
I mean,
And make
pizza's, I think, the great equalizer.
Yeah. It's the one most kids will eat.
Yeah.
That and cupcakes.
Oh, cupcakes. That was one of my daughter's first words. Cupcake?
Really?
Yeah. Cupcake, daddy.
That's awesome. I think from like a personal goal, my wife and I have been talking about it, putting down the phone more.
That's
Yeah.
a hard
when
one.
we're around my daughter. You know, my daughter made a comment the other day, Dada, put down your phone. I was like, oh boy.
Yeah.
When she starts noticing, that becomes a problem.
so we're gonna see you around the Discord server last.
Yeah. That's the goal. It's the plan.
That is hard to do.
So,
I mean,
it is.
all things, there can be a point where things are not healthy. They're more obsessive.
Right. It's, not sitting there on my phone doing anything bad. It's just not productive.
Sure.
So, particularly when you're there with your kids, it's important to be present and not have your phone head down looking at the phone.
Yeah.
So,
I think our generation, though, as parents, for whatever reason, whether it's we're conscious of it or not, have more time with our kids.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
agreed. Yep.
Just like my parents were working all the time.
Yep.
So, I was a latchkey kid
Yep.
for the majority of my preteen and teen years, which we'll talk about on a different episode, I'm sure.
No, it's true though. It's, especially as a teacher, you get a lot of free time. But it's one of those things. My wife and I have talked about when you come home, put the phone down in the bedroom. Don't go near it. Don't touch it. Leave it. Only pick it up when you need it. If there's an errand that you have to run locally, leave the phone at home.
Whoa.
Don't bring it with you.
Whoa.
Yeah.
My wife would never say that.
Dude, you leave the
If you're
house
going-
without
I
your
mean,
phone.
if you're together,
Yeah.
okay. I thought you meant by yourself.
Yeah. No, like if we're going out as a family.
Like someone has a
going
phone.
Like go out with your phone where I can't contact you.
That would be. It's amazing though, like a situation like that, like even just the thought of that gives you like a little baby anxiety of like, oh
It's true.
my God,
It
something
shouldn't.
happens.
But
Somebody's not going to be able to get in touch with me. So, should
how
probably tell
am
me
I
something.
supposed to hear that Sully loves me if I don't have Discord on?
Well, then the feeling that you get when you come back after like an hour or two, you get like 50 missed messages. Wait a minute.
You're never caught up
What
on
did
the
I miss?
conversation.
Yep. You're spending the next 10 minutes just scrolling.
Well, I think we're more physically present than our parents are, but we are at risk of being
Oh, yeah.
like less emotionally,
Yep.
mentally present while we're there.
Yep. I agree with that. Absolutely.
It's because we're always stimulated. There's no off switch anymore.
Nope.
Again, a topic for another contest or podcast, but contest too.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah.
No, it's turned into a parenting podcast.
That's a tough
I don't know
one.
about you, but my kids are murdering each other when they're not on a tablet.
Yeah.
So it just becomes very easy to be like, stop kicking your brother.
Yeah.
Like,
Watch
go play whatever.
Bluey.
Yeah.
Bluey.
My daughter's on
Maybe
a big.
Daniel Tiger can teach you this. As well.
With the number of times we resort to singing Daniel Tiger songs,
Dude, tell me about it.
amazing.
I mean, if you have to go
Remember what
potty,
Daniel Tiger said?
you got to stop and go right away.
Stop and go right away. Flush, wash,
and wash,
be
and be on your way.
All right. This isn't getting monetized now. We just got a copyright restriction.
I think this is free advertising.
Oh, it definitely is. Like they need it.
PBS Kids. No, but back to the goals, that's a tough one for the phones to put like a SMART goal on, right? Because sure, it's specific. Use the phone less. But how do you measure it? I guess with the app.
Your phone measures it, literally.
With the app,
Screen time.
I'm going to be on my phone.
I don't like looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to tell me the truth.
I told you I'm scared of goals and failing, so I don't let.
But it's true, like keep it under 7 hours a week, 6 hours a week, whatever the number is that you have to hit. Measure it that way. Is it attainable? Sure, 100%. Realistic, relevant.
6 hours a week total?
Yeah. It's a number that I'm throwing out. Like,
maybe you're not on your phone at school all day, but
I don't know. Actually, let me. Where is that?
Well, and maybe maybe I just work on my phone more, or kind of just do everything there. But keeping it under 6 hours a day would be
it's tough.
A win.
I actually don't even know the app that they use.
The Apple app. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
It's called
the
Screen
one
Time.
that gives you the weekly
Screen Time.
Let's do a search for that.
Yeah, I also have to work from my phone when I'm at work. So that's impossible for me.
Yeah.
But it's a good goal. I think, just trying to put it down and be more present mentally, emotionally.
Yeah, I think just, if you can, leave the work out of it. Okay, you got to be on your phone for work. Most people understand that, but when I'm around my daughter, phone's not there, So it's
just everything bleeds in.
So my daily.
So you create a habit in one place, and then
through 6 hours,
it bleeds into the rest.
6 hours out is the daily average. I average 6 hours a day.
See, I told you.
That's where I got the 6 hours.
So getting that under 6 hours a week.
Yeah, that would be impossible. Yeah. What was I thinking?
It's possible.
Yeah. You're talking.
It would be a radical change.
You're talking less than an hour a day.
Probably spend more time.
So it's probably more helpful to look and see what you're actually doing,
right,
and make changes there.
No shock to anyone. Last week, I spent 5 hours and 59 minutes on Zwift Companion, 5 hours and 45 minutes on Discord, and then just over 2 hours in messages. Everything else is under 2 hours.
So here's one for you. According to my phone, 3 hours, 27 minutes last week.
Daily average?
Daily average.
Good for you.
Wow.
Now, let's say.
You must be Discording somewhere else.
Maybe. I don't know if that picks up your iPad or not.
I think it's separate.
Yeah.
Then yeah, there's no way that's true.
So I think, Drew, I don't know if we've talked about this, but things not being just measurable, but reviewable.
Yep.
And building that review into your schedule. Do you guys have anything for that?
That's actually a good point. We don't.
Thanks.
Hey, I'm going to throw that one into the curriculum.
You sound surprised.
So that's the timely part of it. Is the timely part is put the, the century ride that I'm looking to do is June 5th. So okay, by June 5th, I'll ride 100 miles. For the phone one, it's a little harder.
So what's your process for that though?
For the 100 mile?
Yeah.
On June 5th, I'll ride 100 miles and complete most, if not all, of the Trainer Road workouts.
That doesn't sound like a smart goal.
All right, so how do we phrase it as a smart goal? By June 5th, 2022, I will ride 100 miles while completing most, if not all, of my Trainer Road workouts.
You need a percentage.
Yeah, I think
while completing 95%.
95% of my Trainer Road workouts.
I think your goal is accurate. I think the question is just, hey, like, how do
you get there?
Since the goal is like out there, it's like, what are my mini goals that are measurable, like at the week level rather than the, year level?
Right, exactly.
To see if I'm progressing or if I'm tracking.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Checkpoints, like we said. I like that idea. Definitely using that going forward in my classes. I think big checkpoints, and I was talking about it in real life dirt server, is, ride for 3 hours on Saturdays, ride for 2 hours on Saturdays, build up the stamina from there, and see where we're at with that. Hit those kind of checkpoints for like every Saturday. Just call them like temperature checks. see how we're feeling, All right, today I did 50 miles with Coco Cadence or whatever. How am I feeling about that? So checkpoints are important for goals.
Absolutely.
Again, I think weekly,
just to keep you on track.
Weekly checkpoints are easy.
You think what checkpoints are easier? What kind?
That's it, like weekly.
Oh,
weekly checkpoints. Checking in on a weekly basis or something like that. Even for the cell phone goal. The phone sends you weekly updates about your screen time usage. Okay. I'll take them. Take them and use them.
Well, I think you could do 100 miles right now, so I just might not be fun.
Yeah. And that's what Tiago had said, Pete Keller said, even Dan Gassert was riding with us. It's all about finding the nutrition. How do you fuel the ride? You could do 100 miles. You're not going to feel great afterwards unless you properly plan for it, unless you figure out your nutrition needs, how much, when do you need to refuel? Is there going to be fuel on the ride, kind of thing. So,
you're going to do any outside rides to prepare?
Yeah, that's the goal. It's still cold out today. I think right now it's like 25, 30 degrees without the wind chill. So I'm not riding outside.
Have you signed up for a century?
For the June 5th, what is it, the Highlands Grand Fondo? So
where is that?
North Jersey. Right over the border from New York, Rockland County. So, and then signed up as Eat Dirt with the team. So nice. Gave me the option. I was like, all right. And like I said, it'd be cool. We got Pete Keller signed up for it, Dan Gassert, a couple of Eat Dirt guys. Trying to see if we can get some other guys to do it that are in the area. Maybe we'll get the Dirt Father, Sterney, who consistently tells me that he's lost his back wheel. Every time I'm like, Sterney, we should meet up for a ride. He's like, Drew, I haven't seen my back wheel. I don't know how long. Fair enough. But
how far away from you is he?
About an hour and a half, probably. So, and that's like New York City travel time estimate again.
Yeah.
Where he's probably only about 30, 40 miles, maybe 50 miles away. But it's going to take me an hour and a half, 2 hours.
Yeah, he's like the distance from like you to the next closest town if you were me.
Yeah. Exactly. So
I'm trying to, like, while we were talking, I'm trying to think about, haven't really set any personal goals yet this year.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think about like things I want to improve on. And I think, for me, I don't remember where I heard it. It's probably a couple of years ago, but like, it's this paradigm of you should create more than you consume. So like a lot of us just get on our phone and watch YouTube or whatever. Yeah. And it's like, and I'm not saying that you have to do YouTube, but to just make something out in the world, like put it out there.
Any of the social media websites, really. I mean, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, like nonsense out there.
Right. And I mean, creativity is not defined by the medium that you choose to work in, obviously. I mean,
sure.
There are creative people that use Facebook,
Yep, 100%.
But just to try and put something out into the world and not just consume, you know?
Yep.
That's
that.
always an important goal for me. Or at least it has been the last couple of years.
Yeah.
So what does that look like this year?
It's a great question. I think starting this has been, at least for the last month, a pretty good outlet. Because especially for those who don't know, there's been some technical hurdles getting 5 to 6 guys who all live in different areas.
Who are these other guys? I haven't seen them in a few weeks.
How to get everybody's video feed and audio in a clean manner so that I can edit it and put it together. But that problem solving, I think, has been feeding that creative outlet for me. See, again, not necessarily, a piece of art or something. It's just creative thinking in general.
Revamped Eat Dirt logo. I saw it.
I was going to say.
I did do that.
New Eat Dirt logo.
That was
That's when you outed yourself as an artist.
Yeah, I did. I was sitting at work that day, and I was like, it was a lull in the day. Let me say that. No one was speaking.
Did you design any of your tattoos?
I did. I drew that one.
That's awesome.
That's a cardinal.
That's really cool.
For my grandmother.
Just in case any of our watchers are wondering, do you design tattoos?
I don't do cats. Other cats. I did the leopard guy for the Eat Dirt because the cat was already kind of there.
Did we decide on the leopard?
To me, he's a leopard. He's a snow leopard, actually.
Oh,
you identify as a leopard?
On days. I would say I did a Mert version. Mom's inside riding trainers. The leopard looks better in purple.
Yeah,
it's true.
Cool. So it can be whatever kind of cat you want it to be.
Yep.
Completely.
Art is interpretive.
But I think one of my personal goals is to get out and camp more this year. We're fortunate to have a camper, and we like to travel. And we have neglected that with the small children.
It's tough.
It is. We went when my daughter was little. We actually, we took my daughter to Gulf Shores, Alabama, in the middle of summer when my wife was pregnant.
Oh.
That was a horrible idea. We had one air conditioner. It was not enough. But, it was fun.
Meet up with Kelso.
Yeah.
He's got his toe behind camper now.
Well, I'll be bringing it to our
pretty sweet.
To our April gathering. We're planning.
Oh, yeah. Nice.
So
that'd be cool.
Bringing my dog, too.
To spend...
Spoiler.
Spend more time outside. The goal.
Yeah, I think, like last year, I tried to be outside on the bike at least once a week.
Yep.
Which I think is a reasonable amount.
Yep.
Just because, I don't like to ride super early outside.
Right.
And to take that time away from, family. And whatnot.
Yep. I've always said, I think
I had gotten better for a minute, but I don't remember the last time I was outside on the bike.
Yeah, I think mine was probably October, maybe late September, early October. And then it started getting chilly.
Kids' sports schedules.
Yep.
Take over.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing, is you see some of these people, on Strava from the area around here, they log these 70, 80-mile rides outside, but they're outside for 3.5 hours. And like you said, Dad, is you can ride in the dark, certainly able to do it, but only out of necessity, really. I'm not trying to do that for fitness.
Right.
That's tough. So
I think everybody has different life stage, different.
Yep.
A lot of times you see it's like older guys that are retired that, they're going to do 5-6 hours on a Saturday, but
right.
for some people that is their community. They don't have something like this.
Right, and that's it. So it's more power to them. Hopefully we'll get there. Maybe Eat Dirt will become Eat Dorb. Dad's outside riding bikes.
Eat Dorb. That's great.
But we,
It's a new logo. It's a new logo for you to create, Dad.
I'm on it.
but put that on the.
That could be our meetup logo.
Yeah,
We'll get T-shirts made.
the T-shirts. Yep. Yes, we're doing it. Riding bikes outside, guys.
So I think
I laugh about that sometimes when people ask about Zwift. Like, you don't like riding outside? I'm like, of course I do. Like, that's how I got into bike riding, but
Right.
it's just the convenience of Zwift. So,
it's unmatched. So I think to wrap all of this in a tidy little bow, which is impossible.
Yep.
The last thing is probably accountability, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you hold yourself accountable to the goals?
And I'd say a lot of us are fortunate in our cycling goals that we have each other to keep us accountable, to help each other out. But surrounding yourself by people in real life and otherwise that have similar goals to you is a very easy way to do it.
Yep.
Like
Absolutely.
if you're trying to cut back on alcohol, you're not going to surround yourself by a bunch of people that go to the bar every day.
I was like, don't
It's
go
a
to a
bad
bar.
idea.
Yep. That's true.
But
I think
basically
for me, it
find
was
your
always
community, right?
funny. Yeah. And
Yeah.
more than that, find what motivates you. If it's a goal that you're not motivated by, you're not going to do it. For my father, it was always funny. He later in life came into triathlon. And his whole thing, he was like, I know that if I sign up for a triathlon, I'm going to train for a triathlon. He goes, the cost alone is enough to motivate you. And obviously now with the pandemic, most of them have, race insurance and all whatever. But even without that, if you put it on the calendar, you're more likely to do it. If you talk about it, I want to race a triathlon, I want to race one. Until you put it on the calendar, it's not a reality. So the other accountable part, and this is where Eat Dirt kind of comes into it a lot, tell people about it. Tell people about your goal. If there's some study I read that, like, if you're serious about a New Year's resolution, put it on Facebook. Let your Facebook community know about it. That way then, down the line, a month, 2 months from now, somebody might ask you about it. Say, hey, I remember you posted back in January that you were going to do a triathlon. What's the deal? How's that going? If you're then going to have to, that was just a pipe dream. I wasn't really serious about it. Most people would feel kind of sheepish answering like that. Tell people about your goal. Have them hold you accountable just as much as you can hold yourself.
And don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
It's okay
100%.
to fail.
Easier said than done.
But I'm telling you, when you reframe that failure into, I didn't fail, I just didn't achieve it yet. Yet being the key word.
Learn something from it, That's all. Everything's a learning experience, just like you said, no matter how you frame it.
Yep.
So,
all right. I think that's going to best wrap up this hour of cycling rambling. So until next time, which will be probably after the first of the year. So
the new year.
We'll see you guys next year.
Can't wait.
2022.
2022. Here we come.
All right. See ya.
Happy New Year, everybody.